Welcome to another episode of Walking Football TV. Well, today we have two exciting guests, very exciting guests, from England, So we're going to meet Mr. Paul Carr and Mr. Stuart Langworthy. Come on, let's bring them on air right now. All right, there you go, Mr. Paul Carr and Mr. Stuart Langworthy.
Hello, Dee.
All right, yes, hello guys. How are you?
All good.
Thank you.
Yeah, all good. Okay, all right. We are very happy, very honored that you guys can come on the show with us right now. What time is it over there, right now?
11:15
in the morning, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we are 6:15 in the evening. Wow, that's the beauty of the time difference, isn't it? You can never go back to sleep. Everyone is on doing walking football, right? That's what we're going to talk about today. Okay, Paul. Okay, please introduce yourself. Okay, we know you, but let's introduce yourself to the world. Let's go.
Yeah. Hi, Dee. I'm Paul Carr. I'm the founder and chief executive of the Walking Football Association in England. But I also set up the FIFWA, which is the international governing body for walking football. So we, in the role of FIFWA, we run the World Nations Cup and Euros.
Wow. Okay. All right. And then, Stuart, what about you? Give us an introduction, please.
Yeah, I'm Stuart Langworthy. I am a director at the Walking Football Association for Grassroots, and have been doing an awful lot with impairment and things like that. I'm also the England over 60s manager and current World Nations Cup champions at over 60s.
Wow, congratulations. I'm telling you guys, right? I mean, for all of us to grab that cup away from you, it's so difficult, isn't it? Time and time again, it's you guys winning the cup. Fantastic.
Well, we hope to retain it. I mean, we made a bit of history by winning it for the first time last year, so we're hoping to be able to retain it next year once we're in Spain.
Okay, that's Spain in October, isn't it? The World Nations Cup.
That's right.
Right. Okay, we were there. Singapore was there last August. A World Nations Cup at the St. George's Park. Right. Fantastic atmosphere, camaraderie, the bonding, the competitiveness. It's a very exciting times and all that. Okay. Thank you again for holding that. It was memorable. I think even until today, my boys, I would say my boys, the guys over here who went for the tournament, right? It was fantastic. We kept talking about it over and over again, and we're very excited to go to Spain next year. For the World Nations Cup #2, right? Yeah, congratulations on that as well. Maybe the next time we'll bring Spain on, to chat with us about that, right? How they are preparing and all that. But first, let me ask Paul, how did you, when founder of WFA Walking Football Association, why did you where did you find? Tell us about founding Walking Football. Tell us about it.
I was a mature student at university in Manchester, and in between all my extensive homework and studies, I decided to have a bit of fun. So I went along and played walking football in a nice place called Wigan, which is part of Manchester, and loved it. Started going to sometimes 3 times a week. That was actually 10 years ago now, 10 years ago this year. So I've been playing for quite a long time. And it was in those days, it was only a couple of years old as a sport. So there were lots of different rules, lots of different variations of the rules. No one was really governing the sport. And during my studies, one of the modules was strategic management. So I decided to look at walking football as a project. And out of that came the idea of setting up the governing body for walking football, because no one was doing it at the time. As you may know, governing bodies in England can be set up by the participants, people who are passionate about sport, and that's what we did. That was in 2016, and since then we've now got over 100 volunteers. We've got a board of directors of 8 fantastic people, and the whole thing has just snowballed. And what was a hobby is now turned into, with people like Stuart and myself and other people, pretty much a full-time job, which is amazing.
Wow.
It keeps us young and healthy, so it's great.
Yeah, I mean it's amazing. I think from that year until today, I think when we look at the climate, or rather, the climate of walking football in the UK, in England particularly, I think it's very bustling. It's I see many things happening over there, right? And again, when we're talking about WFA, it's not only the World Walking Football Association; it's also a multi-award winning association, isn't it, Paul?
Yeah, we keep entering awards, and so far we're getting quite a few bronze awards, which is fantastic because we're up against some big companies, big organisations who are well funded with lots of staff. We're 100% volunteers, and we keep getting bronze medals for. We've had bronze last 3 years. We've had bronze medal for diversity, equality, and that's fantastic news. And we're going for this year for more awards. One of them is going to be the Association of the Year. We're finalists for that, so it's great to be seen as doing a good job. All that hard work that we put in is justified, and it's good to get some reward.
Yes, congratulations, WFA, and Paul. And Stuart is also, may I say, an award-winning person as well. I think he's really with. I heard that you have been bestowed an honor from the king himself. Would you tell us about it?
Yes. Very,
Wow.
very humbled to say that, I have a British Empire medal,
Wow.
which is just fantastic. Paul nominated me, and various other people supported the nomination. And yeah, it's just wonderful. I've been volunteering in football now for over 50 years, and in walking football clearly for the last 10 years. And you don't do these things to get recognised, but it's nice when someone does. So we went to Buckingham Palace on the
Wow.
rainiest day of the year, got absolutely drenched, but we had a fantastic day, absolutely fantastic day. So
Wow.
yeah, very honoured.
That's one of the highest honor that I can think of, isn't it? I mean, British, Empire medal. Wow. So do we call you? Do we call you a certain, title or something? Do we say Sir Stu?
Stuart will be fine. I do get called lots of things, Dee Dee, but Stuart will be fine.
As we know, our Stuart is always so very modest and humble and all that. I think that's the thing, about you guys. I think it's the intention when you set up walking football is to touch people's life. Is to make the community comes together, to participate in a sport, so that, I mean, you guys are doing Parkinson's as well, isn't it? Parkinson's, and I see cancer as well. Yeah. Would any one of you talk about that?
Yeah, I mean, you saw firsthand, Dee Dee, the difference that it's made to those people's lives. The Parkinson's team has been together now for 2 years, and they are just the most incredibly fantastic people. They're so inspiring. They've all got this disease for which there's no cure, but their attitude to life is fantastic. And
Yeah.
walking football is really helping to make a difference, because the more active they can keep, the better and longer they will keep Parkinson's at bay. And we brought them over to Singapore, and they won. They beat Singapore. They beat Indonesia.
Mhm. Yeah.
And by the time the medal ceremony came about, they
Yeah.
were so low on medication, some of them could hardly walk.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
they got there and they sang, and they took the medication, and then they were out partying in the evening. So it's walking football is brilliant because it's so inclusive, and it is changing the lives of so many people.
Right.
And our latest venture is the Kicking Cancer team. We've just formed an England Kicking Cancer team. So again, inspirational group of people who've come through the most horrible of things with cancer, and they're there now to tell their story as well.
Right. And I'm for myself over here with Walking Football for Health, I think we are getting inspirations from you guys as well. And when we're talking about Parkinson's, right? I think I met a great people there. Last year when we had the International Invitational, right, with yourself from England, the Parkinson's team, and then we had Indonesia, Malaysia, and ourselves as well. And I remember meeting Gregory, Joel Gregory, and Annie. right? And Annie,
Yes.
fantastic individuals, and the rest of the team. And you know something, we have right now in our WFA, Walking Football for Health, right? WFA team, we have now 3 Parkinson's, warriors as well. So you will see him. His name is Peter Hone. He just went to England. And then he met up with Joel Gregory as well. Maybe the next time, okay, we'll bring both of them on, and then maybe they can share, right, how they went through, walking football, how it has helped them, not being feeling isolated. That's the term that Peter used, when he was talking about how his involvement in walking football. Yeah.
Well, do you know what, Dee Dee? The team will be absolutely thrilled to know that their trip to you has helped 3 people to get out of the house and to be active, because that's what it's all about. For them, the game is only one part. What they want to do is they want to be role models. When they travel to a country, they want to talk to other people with Parkinson's and show what can be achieved, what is possible. And they will be thrilled to know that they've inspired 3 people to get up and to get involved in the game.
That's true. And not only that, Paul, remember the last time I think you met, you were with Phyllis, right, from the Parkinson's Society? Right, you met Phyllis. I think Phyllis came over here. Remember, you were, both of you were here, and then Stuart said, you were meeting some people from Parkinson's and all that. Yeah,
that was Simon. That was Simon, was it, Stu?
Simon was here as well. Yes.
Simon, is it?
Yeah, Simon,
okay.
yeah, Simon. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, Simon. Okay. And then we met with, Paul, we met with Phyllis of Parkinson's Society. And again, as you know, WFA Singapore, WFA Global has actually signed an MOU with Balestier Khalsa. That's our Singapore Premier League football club. And together, both of our clubs together, right, actually working with, the Parkinson's Society. So again, it's continuing where you started off last year, so you guys have actually inspired us to do more for our community as well. Thank you.
That's good. I mean, Dee Dee, you may remember St George's Park last year. We had some exhibition games and we involved the Parkinson's teams there, and we're going to do the same in Spain next year. So we'll keep on raising the awareness of Parkinson's playing walking football.
Fantastic. When we're talking about walking football, okay, let's talk about rules and regulations, okay, in walking football. There's so many rules flying around, as we know, the FA is not the overall body, who wants to, cover the rules over as yet, right? So we have many rules out there with many organizations stringing their own rules and all that. But I think, Paul, why don't we talk, okay, Stuart and Paul, why can we talk about walking football rules? Okay, first of all, in a nutshell, okay, for anyone who doesn't know about walking football, what's the rules for walking football under WFA?
Go on, Paul.
Oh, that's cool. Is that we weren't ready for that one, Dee Dee? In summary, okay, no contact, no running below head height, no offsides. It's a very simple game. I mean, our laws of the game are about 10 pages long at the moment, whereas the laws of the game for association football are over 100. So it's dramatically simple, and it's aimed based on being a safe game. Health and safety is obviously important in everything we do, so that's why it's no contact. We're very careful on tackles from behind, etc. They're not allowed, and keeping the ball below head height prevents any heading, so there's no heading of the ball allowed. So it's all to do with head height. We protect the goalkeepers by having a D in front of the goal where players can't go into that area. And the only injuries you tend to get in walking football are muscle strains, because there shouldn't be really any contact injuries, which is great. The way the laws of the game have been developed over the years, I mean, it was set up basically by John Croop 12 years ago. Very simple set of laws. Based on football, obviously. In that time since then, we've got more and more involved since the WFA was established. We every year ask our clubs and players what they'd like to see, any changes in the laws of the game. So the laws of the game have evolved quite significantly over the last 10 years or so. Over the last few years, there have been less and less changes, because we're basically getting to a stage where people are generally playing the sport in the way that they want to play it, with the laws of the game that they like. we brought in a new set of a new clause with regard to the sin bin. We increased the time last year because we wanted to try and address the running. But each year we're not expecting to make any significant changes. We don't have any problems with handball. We don't have any offside, etc. So whereas in football there's constant tinkering and changing with those two areas, we don't really have that as an issue. We still go to the old-fashioned rule: if it's intentional handball, it's handball. Simple as that. So we try and keep it simple. Don't forget our referees are also quite elderly, some of them. So we don't want to make it complicated. Not only for the players but for the referees as well.
And I like the fact that you have most of it. When I was reading, I mean, I'm a qualified referee as well under you guys, right? When I was reading the whole rules and all that, implementing it and all that, I think safety is a very important factor there. And Stuart, when you were last year, you were demonstrating about the peripheral vision, right? Would you like to talk about it?
Yeah, it's quite a simple fact, really, that if so, you can tackle from the side, but it has to be, for want of a better way of putting it, it has to be from the front side rather than the back side, because if you're tackling from the front, if you hold your arms out, I can't really demonstrate on here, but if you hold your arms out and you point them just in front of you, you can still see both your thumbs. Therefore, you can tackle from that side of people, but if you move your hands back, you can't see them, and that's where you can't tackle. And as Paul said, it's really all about health and safety. We want to keep the game as simple as possible. So yes, you can tackle without contact, and yes, you can tackle from the side, but it has to be from the side, a position at the side where the player can see you and can react to you. And that's important. And just one further thing to build on what Paul has said is we always ask the clubs. Many of clubs who have affiliated to the WFA are overseas clubs. So these laws of the game are common we've done referee training courses in Cyprus, in China, in Hong Kong, in Canada, in France. We've done referee training courses all over the world. So these laws of the game are being followed all over the world.
Yes, in Singapore, in Malaysia, right? In University of Malaya, many. And the thing is, in Africa too. I mean, you've been all over the world with the Walking Football Association rules. And one thing, we need to clear the fact that when we mention tackle, it is when you tackle to try to steal the ball but not having contact. Yeah. So correct. That's what we want to
tackle without contact. You can't
tackle without contact.
You can't use your shoulder. You can't push someone away. It's a clean tackle where you take the ball without any contact.
Yes, because when you hear that word,
it has to be from the front where the player can see you coming.
Yes, I think that's fair, because if you tackle from the back, I see people when we play walking football initially, right? Not anymore right now. When you get new people to come in and all that, they tend to, especially for those people who plays soccer, in their earlier lives, they tend to stick their leg in between people's legs, from behind and all that, you know what I mean? So so I think the fact that walking football is relatively a safe sport, I think is a great thing, and that's why I think in Singapore particularly, we actually encourage it to be multi-generational, so everybody can play. That's what we enjoy about it. So and another thing about goalkeeper, can goalkeeper run?
No.
No, right? I mean, that's precisely, it's walking football, isn't it? Right.
Some goalkeepers do run. If they've made a save and then they get up and run to the other side of the D, then they can run, but they shouldn't do. And referees should penalise them.
In fact, if the goalkeeper runs to make a save, in theory, it should be a red card and penalty, because it's denying a goal-scoring opportunity.
Oh yeah, that's true. And again, sin bin. Tell us about the sin bin. That's the sometimes in regular football, soccer, there's yellow card and red card. What's the difference in walking football?
Go on, Paul.
Blue card is after 3 infringements, and they can be running or contact. Any 3 infringements the referee deems to be serious enough to warrant a blue card, and that means they'll be in the sin bin for. At the moment, we changed it recently to 10% of the duration of the game. So it's a 20-minute match, it'll be for 2 minutes. It's a 40-minute match, it'll be 4 minutes. So that can have a dramatic effect on the team's performance, going down from 6 players to 5 players. But we're hoping that will have an effect on the not walking situation. If they commit a serious foul, they will get a red card, which means they're banned from the rest of the game, and in a tournament they may be banned for further games as well, depending on what the reason was, whether it was a bad foul or disrespecting the referee, etc.
Yeah. And the thing is,
very important. It's very important, Dee Dee, for a referee to manage a game.
Yeah.
And what we try to encourage is, maybe the first time the referee sees a player running, he will have a quiet word and say, that was running. If you do that again, it will be your first warning. So we do try and encourage our referees to manage the situation and to manage the game, and to try to warn players and help, in a way, kind of coaching players into telling them what is running and what isn't running. So
that's true.
Yeah, it's very good, and it's an individual penalty. It's an individual offence rather than a team offence, which is actually really quite important, I think. And it does include contact and running.
Right. And the thing is that when we're talking about running, that's strange, isn't it? It's walking football, and everybody tends to go running. That's quite a common occurrence, isn't it? Why do you think that's the problem? That's the biggest problem of all, I think.
I think it's
Sorry, Stu, go ahead.
I think it's instinct. I think, having played football all my life, and I know other people say this to me, if you see a ball, you believe you can get to it. And most people will run in the first 2 or 3 steps, and then they'll realise, and then they'll try and slow down. And the other most common occurrence is, if people are going to shoot, they will run in their last 2 or 3 steps in order to generate power. So it's the first 2 or 3 and the last 2 or 3 steps where it is most obvious that people are running. And I think a lot of it's instinct, and you've just got to train yourself as a player that you can't get every ball, you can't win every tackle, and sometimes you just have to calm yourself down a little bit as a player.
One of the things that we're doing, right, Paul, when we are training, right, is actually we tell our players is that if there's a 50-50, leave it, let the other player take the ball, rather than run across to get it or something, right? That's what we tell our players. What about you, Paul?
Running off the ball is the big issue, I think, for us. We can quite easily address if the referees are able to see it. That's the problem. Running on the ball is easy, because the referee's going to be watching that part of the pitch, because that's where the ball is. So it's running off the ball which is harder to control, but it's something that we're trying to address. We're training referees, making sure they understand the need to stop that from happening. It's going to take time. It's an education process. The sport's still young, relatively young, and the FA is still messing around with rules of the game. We know they'll be doing that in coming years as well. But eventually, I think it will become a proper walking sport. There are many walking sports going on at the moment, and know that they've all got the same issues as we have in terms of people unable to walk all the time. Obviously jogging, there's fast walking, there's all different speeds, and we're looking at various ways of trying to control it.
Yes, and one of the things that I think many might not know out there is the fact that WFA, all right, you guys have set up a consultative committee. I'm included in that, and with our expertise, from different areas and all that. The referees, myself as an exercise physiologist, also a referee as well, a player as well, and then researcher as well. So we have a consultative committee, right? That you guys have set up, and we have actually looked into the problems of walking and non-walking in walking football. That's why I think your campaign is called "That's Not Walking," and that's
Yeah, yeah.
aptly titled, I think. And I think one of the other things, I think, when I think we are coming towards the end of our findings and all that, right? I think maybe we can just how do for me personally, right? I feel that, okay, like you guys, Stuart was mentioning, we need to train the referees to take note of who's walking and who's running. Yeah. But for me, I've put an extra bit there where where we WFA, we train walking when we do walking football training. So the coach, I think Zari, you've met him, me and him, and the rest of the team and all that. We try to train. I think we always we will play as we train, because if you train running, you will automatically do running. And then I feel that it's also a blueprint that you need to imprint in your brain that, okay, this is walking football and you have to walk. So that's why I feel that, okay, what's working for us is that we train walking during walking football training sessions, you see. So what's your thoughts on that one, Paul?
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to take a lot of effort, a lot of education of the players, and that starts at the club level. When a new player comes along to the club, then one of the first things I say to them is that they're trying not to run. This is a walking sport. Most of the players who start the sport are able to do that if they understand that that's what's accepted. If they go to a club where running is allowed, then they will probably run as well. And so it's a question of education from the very beginning of their journey. As soon as they start playing walking football, they need to be aware that they should not be running. And that's down to the clubs. And we in the WFA can give guidance, and Chris is doing a great job in this campaign, which will be continuing throughout the year with your help, Dee and others. And part of that, those results, I'm sure, will be focused on educating the clubs to educate the players.
Yes, true.
That's where it starts. That's where it starts.
Yes.
I think it's fair to say in England that it's got to start with the players. But if we are trying to train as many referees as we can, because if a referee is at a club session, then the players will behave themselves more than if there isn't a referee there. So the key to this is getting as many referees out there as we can. I get all the emails that come to the WFA, and reading them, I would say that the most common reason why people get frustrated with our sport is that they go along to play walking football, and their club, in their words, their club has become, the game has become like old men's five-a-side. And that involves the running and the contact. So getting referees to referee club sessions and to train people at club level is absolutely key. And you're right, Dee Dee, you've got several qualified referees in Singapore, and when you have your training sessions, you can slow the game down. And that's what we need to do in this country, is get more and more people qualified as referees, so that at club sessions the game is properly played as walking football with no contact.
Yes, that's true. And also, as a referee, I mean, being trained as a referee, they also need to have that referee time so that they can build their confidence. Because if you're refereeing two teams, very red-blooded, people who's playing football who wants to win, in a way, right? Even walking football, they want to win at all costs. That's where I think your confidence as a referee needs to be really solid, so that they could call off a foul, because I just referee a friendly. This is a friendly, mind you, and we have the teams actually doing tackles, and it's crazy, and then you just need to stand by your ground and say, no, this is not the way it's being done, and all that, and then you get people like abusing you, basically, you know what I mean? So so that happens also in walking football. I mean, strangely, so I think that's also one of the modules whereby I think perhaps WFA could talk about, like, if you get abuses like that, what do you do? So it will be very helpful to the referees as well, right? Not the minimal abuse, not the name calling thing, but really abuse is like, they're at your ear all the time and all that. So how do you get that confidence and all that? I think perhaps one of these days, right, I'm thinking the next episode or something, we could get a referee up, right, from WFA, and then maybe
Mhm.
he would maybe mention about talk about his experience, perhaps, right, how he handled and all that. Because I know when we were in last year, right, when we were at the World Nations Cup, you have very good referee. I think your head referee is a very good Jonathan. I believe his name is Jonathan, and I think he actually refereed very well. And you also had a fair play award, isn't it, for one of the teams, Korea, I think, is it not, or Japan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
it's Korea, wasn't it?
You
yeah.
have two referees here, Dee, and it's
Mhm.
again, it's very, very simple that
Mm,
if a player is doing this in your ear,
mm,
then you manage them the first time. If they're not being rude, then you manage them the first time and say
mhm,
any more and you'll get a blue card. And
mm,
then if there is any more, then it's important you follow that up by giving them a blue
Mm.
card.
mm,
If
mm,
anyone's particularly abusive to you and swears at you, as a
mm.
referee, you can give them a straight red card.
Yeah, yeah,
So it's
yeah,
down to referees to not accept it.
yeah.
Yeah,
We'll
Didi, it
probably,
was in.
yeah.
So Didi, it was interesting. Last weekend we had the national finals for the women's
Mm-hmm.
tournament in University of Nottingham, and there were 28 teams too? 28 teams there, and
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
so that's about 300 women playing walking football, and we had no issues with disrespect at all. They were all fantastic. They were great referees. I had no problem with them at all.
Ah,
In 2 weeks' time, we've got the men's national finals again at University of Nottingham, where there'll be 30 odd teams playing, and we can guarantee that there will be some issues with players being disrespectful. But that's the nature of the genders, I think, for some reason. And it'd be great if the respect that we see in the women's game could be reflected in the men's game.
yeah, yeah.
There was only one little bit of disrespect shown at the women's competition, and that was from a male coach,
Oh,
which was interesting.
from a
So
male coach. What
yeah,
was he doing? What was he doing?
being a little bit too verbal and questioning the referee, and the referee dealt with it.
Ah,
The referee sent him off. So
okay.
very good.
Yeah,
That's what we need to do.
Yeah,
yeah.
I think the more you play the game, the more you referee the game and all that, I think it can get better. I think, I think I've seen a lot of changes since we started. I met you guys in 2019, right? I think there was much more running back then, but right now, with your, it's that's not walking campaign and what you guys are doing, and all that, and I think the effort that you guys are putting in and all that, I think it's rubbing off on many players at the moment. So, fantastic. What's upcoming next? Apart from the World Nations Cup in Spain in October, all right. What else is coming up? Within the near future, not too distant future, right now.
Dee, can I just mention as well that we've now got
Sure.
a Walking Football Referees Association. So
Ah,
any of your referees who we've qualified can join this referees association. So they will often post questions. So you talk about your referees being supported. Well, this is a forum in a way, an opportunity for referees to talk to other referees and to gain a bit of support from them. So I would encourage all of the WFA referees out there who we've qualified to join this referees association.
okay. So that means they log onto your website and then they'll get a link over there, how to register and all that.
Yes, and they can search for it on Facebook. It's the WFA Referees Association. If anyone can't find it, then we can always send them a link.
Right. I mean, I feel that there's more to learn. Every time about walking football, it's a new sport, like you said, and most of us, embracing this sport is new to the game as well. So of course, being a new sport and all that, you kind of like learn from our mistakes and trials and everything. But I think it's a fun sport. Okay, it's growing by the droves in England. I can see. Wow, it's like every weekend you have something going on, isn't it? Do you guys ever take a break?
No, it's 12 months a year, every day. It's
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it's all good fun, though, isn't it? We have dramas, we have stresses and things as anyone does in their lives, but it's something that most of us are really looking forward to. I mean, I'm playing tomorrow morning and then again on Wednesday evening, and it is, it's an important part of my week. It's something I look forward to. Even if it's raining, we'll be playing, so it's good.
Oh
What's coming
yeah.
up? Well, I'm off to Spain next month to start planning with Mark Coleman for the World Nations Cup. Already we've got, amazingly, we only announced it last week, and we already got 45 teams registered their interest, which is brilliant, including new
Including
ones
us,
from
including
Ireland,
us, including
including
us.
Singapore, yeah. And we've
Yeah.
got new nations involved, including Brazil and Sweden, Trinidad and Tobago, Ghana in Africa. So it will be a fantastic event. Probably
Right.
potentially twice the size of the St George's Park event, because we're expanding the age ranges and including the women teams as well.
Oh yeah,
Have you
fantastic.
been in touch with Heather, our England women's 60s manager, because they're hoping to go over to Australia in the new year and popping into Singapore on the way? Has she been in
Yeah.
touch with you?
Okay. No, I've not been in touch. Please put me in touch with her. And then
Yeah.
and then we'll look forward to for her to come over to Singapore. You know,
Yeah.
and then we can play a game or two. Get
Yeah,
something
they're hoping
exciting
to.
going on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
That'd be February. I think they're looking at February at the moment.
Okay. February is good. Yeah. Any time of the year is good for us with walking football. Right.
Good.
I'm looking forward to
And-
talk to Heather on that one.
and-
Yeah.
And Dee Dee, my England 60s are going to Spain to play matches against Spain, hopefully Gibraltar, and hopefully an Argentinian team as well, which would be good.
Wow.
And there's lots of new things. I'm talking to the England Football League next week about how we can introduce walking football for Parkinson's into more football league clubs, which is good. And I'm travelling around to help support new sessions that are starting up all over, which is absolutely fantastic. So lots of things going on. And although I'm retired now, I'm busier now than I was when I was working, I think. But as Paul says, it's great. I love the game. I love playing. I enjoy refereeing sometimes. But I just love everything about the game.
Yeah, and I love walking football as well, and I love being your director of international development and research. I love the fact that I'm in the consultative committee, going into walking football research and all that. I love doing what I do, and I love you guys for being for doing what you guys doing. And I think the next time I think we need to get Paul and Stuart again, and then we'll probably get Mark from Spain to talk about what's upcoming over there. And then, maybe we can get, a referee from WFA to talk about the rules again, because I think we need to talk about it. Maybe from our show, this one, we'll get some feedback. What about the rules? People asking about this or about that and all that. So perhaps a referee from your side would actually address those issues. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be. So I'll be with Mark in Alicante in September. So maybe we could do it together.
The dates. Yeah, give me the dates, okay? Yeah, give me the dates. Yeah. All right. And then Stu, let me know who you want to be on the show next, and then after that we can do this on a regular basis. I think it's very, very important to get the correct message out about walking football. Don't you guys think so?
I think so, Dee Dee. I think it's probably important to say at this point that walking football is a relatively new sport. I mean, it's only been around for 12, 13 years. And, we are doing everything we can as a group of volunteers to try and steer the game and to try and, as you say, come up with a set of laws of the game that are widely accepted. We won't always get it right because we're volunteers, but we will try. We will listen to people. And we will try to do the right thing by the sport. And for me, that's what it's all about, getting as many people as we can outside and active. The demographic is for older people, but we're finding more and more younger people, particularly with long-term health conditions, are loving the game. And for many people, it's changing their lives. And we just got to keep pushing those messages about inclusion, about fitness, about health, physical and mental health. All of those things are so important, and we just keep pushing the message and just trying to bring the world of walking football together as much as we can.
Right. And lots of thanks for all the encouraging words to the rest of the walking football community out there in the world, and thank you again for, holding all these, cups and national cups and international cups, international competitions, tournaments and all that. It keeps all of us on our feet, walking football, So before we leave, I want maybe 3 words from each of you, okay, to everyone watching our show today, to encourage them to play walking football, perhaps, or anything. Just 3 words, okay? Paul, please go ahead, and then we go to Stuart.
3 words. Keep on walking.
Oh, I love that. That's a good reminder for all of us, okay, playing walking football, okay? Stu?
I'm going to cheat Dee and have more words. I'm just going to say, get up, get out, get active.
Oh,
That's
yes,
6.
that's true. That's true.
That's it.
You see,
Fun
double of what I did.
friendship, fitness.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love that. That's your motto for Walking Football Association: fun, fitness, and friendship. Okay, fun, fitness, and friendship. That's why we are here today. All right, thank you guys. Okay, for being on the show. Spending some time with me. It's been really fun. Okay, well, I'm looking forward to the next time we're gonna have this show again. Okay, thank you very much, Stuart, Langworthy, and thank you very much, Paul Carr. Okay, have a great day ahead. Yes. Yes.
Good luck with your tournament. I hope you get calm weather for the ship. Otherwise, it's going to be a very interesting game of walking football on a cruise ship.
Oh yeah, the thing is that I said, whether it'll be a rocky ones on the cruise ship. Well, I'm certainly gonna rock it with the rock concert going on the 1st of September with the walking football. Yeah, and don't forget, guys, it's my birthday the next week. Okay, so
How could we forget?
Thank you, Dee.
Reminding us.
You guys, okay, I love you guys. Okay, I'll see you again soon. Okay,
Yeah.
bye
Cheers,
now.
Dee. Thank you. Bye.